Mr. Beast said this as well, actually. He said, when you look at a video that's not done well and you say to yourself, the algorithm didn't like this, you can simply replace the word algorithm with user or people, and it will mean the same thing. Welcome back to the Charm Diaries, a daily vlog where I talk about the process of me becoming a full-time content creator. And I did promise that I would try and get out a little bit more, and I've made it as far as my back garden. And for those of you that watch, you'll be saying, but Charm, your cabin where you stream is also in your back garden. Yeah, it's literally there. I am within 5 meters of where I would sit, but I am outdoors. We've got the outdoor fire going. I thought it might be nice to do something out here. So here we are. In today's video, I wanted to talk about perfecting the craft of content creation. And this is based off the back of a video that I saw. I can't remember who it was because I'd love to credit them, but I was scrolling through my TikTok feed and they said that so many content creators, when they're first starting out, focus on trying to create videos that they think will get views. And this is a mistake that I've definitely made at certain points, trying to jump on things or trying to jump off the back of successful videos that I've done to create another successful video, to try and find out what that formula of, you know, a successful video is in terms of views and engagement. But what this woman talked about was not focusing on creating videos that you think will get views, but on perfecting the craft of creating content and all of the things that go with that. So I've talked a lot in other videos about the skills that you need to be a content creator. I talked about video editing, I talked about design, I talked about idea creation, I talked about audio, and all of those things come together to create good content, to create content that is watchable, that is engaging, that is interesting, that is entertaining. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. But her thing was, don't focus on just trying to do videos that are going to get views. Focus on making the edit as good as possible, making the story of the video as good as possible, making the audio, making the design, making the whole thing as good as it possibly can be. And that involves a lot more effort than just going, here's an idea, or here's a meme, or here's a viral trend and jumping on the back of that. I'm sure for some people that is successful. It doesn't feel authentic for me to do that because that's not the kind of content that I want to create. But it's definitely an interesting way to look at it, I think. What I'm doing at the moment is I am taking my stream content, so my live stream content, which is usually in 3-hour blocks, I'm taking that, I'm watching it through, and I'm trying to pull out 60-second, 2-minute long video chunks that I think that will work in a short form content format. So I'm trying to take bits from the stream that I think, yes, I think that will work well on TikTok. Yes, I think this will work well on TikTok. It's not very planned because everything I do on stream is just off the top of my head. It's me interacting with the game. It's me interacting with the chat. And I think there's some good pieces in there and it's entertaining to watch it live. And certainly some of those pieces I do take and put on TikTok. But for the other side of content where it's a bit more of a planned piece and I'm trying to create something from scratch, I'm trying to plan a video out, I'm trying to plan an idea out, there is a craft to that that I don't think most content creators are talking about. What most content creators are talking about are use these hacks to go viral, use this music, use this TikTok SEO, use this sound, use whatever, use something on the platform to try and gain the algorithm to get in the For You page, to get into people's feeds. Same with YouTube. It's like, what are the things that you can do to kind of hack the algorithm? Mr. Beast said this as well, actually. He said, when you look at a video that's not done well and you say to yourself, the algorithm didn't like this, you can simply replace the word algorithm with user or people, and it will mean the same thing. If a video hasn't done well, it's because people haven't engaged with it, people haven't liked it, even if you think the content is great. And I think that's a really interesting view. There do seem to be some best practices that content creators on YouTube and on TikTok use that should be in place to put you in the best possible position for the platform to understand what the concept of your content is, what you're trying to get across, who should view that content. But there doesn't seem to be anything that replaces how that algorithm views your video other than how people have engaged with it. So the videos for me on TikTok, for example, that have done best, and even on YouTube, are the videos that have had the follow. So if you're getting follows off the back of a video, even if it's not getting that many likes, for example, or it's getting less comments than other videos that have done well. If you're getting follows, that video is likely to do well. If you're getting favorites, if you're getting comments, that video is more likely to do well than a video that might have more likes. I've seen this with a video that did 2.6 million views. And at the start, I was comparing it to another video that I had that had done about 80,000. And even with less views, it had more engagement. And I couldn't understand why that the video that ended up being 2.6 million wasn't doing better. And obviously, as it turns out, it just needed time. In my head, I thought if it's going to do 1 million, it's going to do 1 million within a couple of hours. And it ended up at 2.6 million, but it took about 2 or 3 days to get there. But it did keep climbing, keep gradually getting in front of more people, keep getting more engagement, keep getting shared, keep getting favorited. And that's the thing that got it out there. So yes, the algorithm did pick it up. Yes, there was a kind of trend on the internet for the content of that type of video at that time. But it was the engagement and the concept and the content of the video that made people engage with it, that got it across the line. It wasn't me just gaming the algorithm. And you could look at that video and you could reverse engineer and say, well, actually, it's because you did X, Y, and Z, but it didn't have any sound on it. It didn't have any subtitles on it. It was just me speaking to camera, a little 5-minute piece that I did right at the end of the day. I wasn't even sure what I was going to do. It was just a very quick idea I had, a little joke that I had about something that was happening in the world. And that's what got it viral. It was the content of the video and the engagement that it got. So I'm largely now trying to ignore all of these. Well, I want to have the good foundations in place, good technical foundations across YouTube and TikTok, but I'm not looking to try and insert things into my video because people say, well, if you put this in there, if you use this sound, if you do this, if you do that, then it's going to get you more views. I'm more interested in making sure the content is as solid as possible. And in order to get the content as solid as possible, that's where it requires you to kind of master the craft of content creation. So how are you edited it? Is it fast pace? Is it slow pace? Have you got movement? Have you got different shots? Have you got, have you got things happening in the video to keep people engaged? One of the things that I'm seeing a lot is people talking about making sure people understand what the video is about right from the very beginning. The people are calling it the hook, right? It's what draws people in. And again, you see people on YouTube like Mr. Beast do this incredibly well, where right at the beginning of the video, it tells you everything that's going to happen in the video, are the twists and turns in the video, are the things that happen that are unexpected. All of these things, these aren't new concepts to do with getting content to go viral. These are just storytelling concepts. These are just how do we get the story across in the clearest possible way. So that's what I'm going to be working on. As you see content being produced, it's a little bit more like this, longer form content or even short form content on YouTube. What I'm going to be trying to focus on is, do I do a good job of drawing people in? Do I make them understand what the video is about and what I'm trying to get across right at the very beginning? Is that intriguing? Is that engaging? Is there a clear kind of story arc across the video? Are there any unexpected twists and turns? Watch any film, watch any TV series. It has all of these things. There's a hook to it. If you watch a trailer to a movie, there's a hook to the trailer. There's things that are in the movie that aren't in the trailer. There's twists and turns. So this whole journey of you saying, oh, I want to watch that film, is because you see something, a trailer right at the beginning that intrigues you, that draws you in. That's the hook. You see the film and the things that happen in the film that you weren't expecting based on the trailer. There's the twists and turns. There's a clear story to it. There's a clear kind of beginning, middle, and end. There's intrigue throughout it. There's great performances. That's the other thing that this person mentioned is, when you come to content creation, who is sitting there and willing to get good at speaking in front of a camera? I mean, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get more comfortable speaking in front of a camera. I don't have a script or anything. I've got kind of a broad idea of what I want to talk about, but really I'm just talking to you off the top of my head. I'm talking to you based on what my kind of thoughts and feelings are today. But who's sitting there and getting comfortable with talking in front of a camera? I know this may seem like a crazy thing, but I want you to try this. Put a camera in front of your face and try and talk to it for 2-3 minutes. Just try and talk about a subject and see how it comes across. See how many ums and ahs and thinking time you get. See how many cuts you need to make. This is not easy. Just the process of looking at a lens as opposed to looking at a person is quite disconcerting for your eyes to do. It's more difficult than you think it is. And The only way you get better at this kind of stuff, I think, is by actually doing it. And I think that's true of everything. If you want to be a great writer, you need to write. If you want to be a great filmmaker, you need to make films. If you want to be a great content creator, you need to be creating content, different types of content. You need to be kind of exploring and investigating the different methods of getting your message across, the different methods of engaging people. That's all this is. This is just trying to entertain people. And what social media has done is it's attached these metrics to entertainment. If you like this, hit this button. If you want to interact with this person, comment. If you want to save this for later, or you want to share it with your friends, it's kind of attached these different mechanisms for people to be able to tell the algorithm, yes, I'm interested in this. And with my background in marketing, I can tell you there's a whole, it's not necessarily personally identifiable, but your social media platforms know you as a person like this kind of content. You like content related to these subjects. And it also knows your kind of friendship group and the fact that if you like that, then the people that you follow and you interact with may like that also, so it presents that to them. With TikTok, for example, you almost always will see videos get pushed to about 200 people-ish, around 200 people. Based on how that video performs at that level, based on how many likes, how many comments, how many favorites, all of those metrics, based on all of that, the algorithm then decides whether it should push it to another group of people. And if it keeps doing well, it will keep expanding out and expanding out, expanding out until it reaches their natural saturation of, you know, some level that's set by the company, by the algorithm to say, okay, well, if engagements, comments, favorites, shares are kind of under this level or under this ratio compared to the amount of views we give it, then start to devalue that in the For You page. The same works across all marketing. It's all about what engagement metrics are you getting on any piece of content. Which I love, by the way. Really enjoy that. It's one of my favourite things to do, is sit and engage with the audience. But that is not always the best type of content to be putting on other platforms. It's not the best type of content to kind of pick apart and take out of context and just put on a social platform. You know that thing of saying you tell someone a funny story and they don't laugh and you go, oh, you had to be there. I think streaming's a bit like that. You have to be there sometimes to get the vibe, to enjoy it. Some stuff I did on my stream on Monday that we had a great time. It was a lot of fun, but I'm not sure that will necessarily translate out of context because people weren't there for the build-up. They didn't understand the vibe of the stream. So a little bit more planning required, a little bit more thinking about things, a little bit more structure around the content, a little bit more bravery in terms of going out and saying, I'm going to go and do these things out in public with a camera and be willing to deal with the consequences. I don't understand why I'm so scared, to be honest with you. I used to go out and busk. I did stand-up comedy. I did all of these scary things, but it's been so long since I've done them that me going out with a camera is scary now. I feel like I have to whisper. I feel like, even in my garden, it's slightly disconcerting. A little bit worried about the neighbours looking out and going, what the hell is this guy doing in his garden? Filming himself with a camera with a fire on and a cup of tea on this chilly day. But here I am. This is the first little breach out of the cabin within a 5 metre distance. I've still got my comfort blanket over there, but I'm out here trying to make something that's a little bit different for you guys. Still trying to talk to you guys in the same way about the things that I'm trying to achieve, the things that I'm trying to do. And hopefully, off the back of videos like this, you will see that start to exist in the content that you see on my TikTok platform, in the content that you see on my YouTube channel. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button, and please do leave a comment below if there's anything around content creation that you want me to talk about. If there's anything you're interested in hearing about with regards to me specifically, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer that in another video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.